In this video, I'm going to talk about how to not get banned on Facebook ads or how to not get restricted on Facebook ads. And this is a video I wish I could have had a long time ago because it would have helped out a lot of people on the way, but it's something that there's no real official guidance from Facebook for the most part, because most of the people that get restricted for no good reason. But I have learned a lot of things over the past couple years, and I've seen certain things people can do to avoid getting restricted. So the first most obvious thing we're going to cover, just in case you're not aware of it, is just Facebook ad policies. We're not going to go through the whole thing because it is absolutely insane. That's a personal message from someone. So it's a crazy amount of details here. Like, I would just recommend reading through this. It's going to be painful, but generally, no nudity, no drugs, alcohol, tobacco references. Don't promote anything that's unsafe. No weapons, adult services, adult content, cheating, deceitful practices, grammar, and profanity. You can't swear in either the text in your ad or in the video. That one gets a lot of people if they have a swear in their song and they leave the clip in the song in the video. That's a pretty common one. And most of these also apply for Google/YouTube ads. Now, there are some weird ones. So circumventing systems, that's normally one that gets flagged incorrectly. But one of the weirdest ones that I don't think you'll see on here is you can't be zoomed into a body part. So if you had an ad that was just a picture of your elbow, that's against Facebook ad policy. So I really recommend reading through this and kind of just understanding what it is, because some people get blocked for no good reason. Some people get blocked just because they didn't read this before. So I want to just kind of weed that out right from the get-go. So now the less obvious things. Even if you follow all of these rules, there are scenarios where you can still get restricted on Facebook ads. And probably 90% of the time, maybe more, that I've seen people get restricted on Facebook ads, it's because they opened up a brand new ad account inside of a brand new business manager account and then immediately just ran to run a conversion campaign with a bunch of ads. And so I'm going to break that down to a few pieces of why they can be problematic for Facebook. Basically, Facebook has a trust score. So if you open up a brand new ad account and a brand new business manager account, which, by the way, if you go over in here, so I see, I have an ad account with a bunch of stuff, but if I click this drop down, and I'll have to blur some stuff out, but you see how it says business accounts? You want to make sure you're running stuff inside of a business account to do conversion campaigns. If you're wondering why, you can check out this video here. If you're running it out of a personal account, which is right here, then that's extra risky, because if your personal ad account gets blocked, it's you just can't run ads, period. If something inside of a business manager gets blocked, just the business is kind of blocked, or just the ad account in that business, because you can have multiple ad accounts in businesses. So the point of that is if you just opened up, let's say you saw one of my videos, you're really excited about running a Facebook ad campaign to promote your music, you create a business manager account, you create an ad account, you go through all of that work, and then you immediately launch a conversion campaign. Facebook you've never spent money with them, they don't have any data on you, they don't know what type of ads you're going to run, what type of business you are. So they see you're sending people to this random website they've never seen, and then they see you tracking data for those people, and a lot of times they just panic and they just go restricted. And in most cases, you just go to appeal it, and it's totally fine. If you're wondering how to do that, if you click this menu up here and go to account quality, that's where you appeal restrictions. You usually have to send a picture of your driver's license first, and then a few days later, you'll be able to appeal it. But point being, there's kind of a trust score. So if you dive in with conversion campaigns immediately, that's the most often scenario I see people get restricted on Facebook. So if you have a new ad account, my advice, and this has worked, I think, at least 10 times now for people, is when you open that ad account, run roughly $120 in on-platform campaigns, meaning video view campaigns, engagement campaigns, just promoting existing posts on your Instagram or on your Facebook page. It's already an existing post that's on your pages, so Facebook's already approved it in terms of being on the platform, and so you're just going to promote it, and you want to do this in a remotely beneficial way. And I'll give you kind of a quick synopsis of how you make a campaign like that. You just create a new campaign, do video views, and I'm going to be brief with this because I know most of you watching my channel might have an idea. But basically, you name your campaign, go to your ad set, and I would recommend if you're first time doing a Facebook campaign, brand new ad account, run it to US, Canada, UK, Australia, Germany, generally like countries that are more expensive, but that are also more like, I get, it's hard to say, like I don't want to say valuable, but in terms of like long-term value, I would stick with those countries. Countries that are most likely to be valuable long-term in terms of money and shows and stuff. So if you live in a certain country, definitely include that country, but include other countries that are like safer and more valuable. Now then age is restrict it down, put some bands in here. This campaign's not too picky. And then if you're running it on a Facebook post, you'll only select essentially just, you only want these two if you're running on a Facebook post. But then if you're running it on Instagram, you would run it on these two. And now when you get to the actual ad, instead of creating an ad, you would use an existing post and then select the post. Again, make sure that the ad follows all the policies. Make sure there's no swearing. Make sure there's no nudity. Make sure it doesn't have the word Facebook or Instagram in it, because that's another policy. But yeah, so that's kind of generally how you run that campaign. And you might want to do a couple. Spend $60 in one, $60 in another. Do it over the course of a week or two. That'll let Facebook charge your card a few times, which shows that you can pay them. So that's another trust score. And then it shows that you're running ads that are generally safe. And the cool thing is, like, it's not useless. Like, there actually are reasons why before you run a conversion campaign on your brand new ad account, it is good to run campaigns like this, because Facebook doesn't just use your targeting parameters to find who will convert and go to Spotify for you. They use the entire history of your Facebook page, Instagram page, your ad account, your pixel to kind of dictate who is the most likely candidate out of the 100 million people you've identified as targetable. So sometimes people, when they launch a conversion campaign right away, even if they don't get restricted, the campaign has problems because basically they haven't like shown Facebook who is the right person. So it's not just that. It can be beneficial in other ways, and you could always retarget this people later. And that's one reason why I would say go with generally safer countries, because video view and engagement campaigns are very susceptible to bots. And that's why I mentioned long-term value countries that might, more likely to go to a show, buy something later, because when it comes to retargeting, those audiences are useful. Video view audiences and engagement audiences are useful in campaigns like that. So that's kind of justification for it. So that alone is, and I know this is kind of sounds like a lot, but you'll do that kind of warm-up campaign in roughly $120 over a week or two, and then you can do your conversion campaign. Now, when you do that conversion campaign, don't publish 1 million ads at once. And I'll go back here to kind of show you what I mean. So just imagine this is a conversion campaign. It's not. It's a video view campaign, but just imagine it is. So a lot of the way I structure my ads, and I'll create kind of a little mock-up here so you know what I'm talking about. But you see out here, I now have a campaign, 2 ad sets, and inside of each ad set, I have 3 ads. So this might be like chorus, verse, pre-chorus. This targeting might be artist 1. This targeting might be artist 2. Normally when I do a campaign like this, I might just publish all of this at once. But if you have a brand new ad account, the thing that happens is like these ads are a duplicate of these ads. And so if you have, multiple ad sets and you publish it all at once, Facebook's going to be very picky with your first conversion campaign. So if they reject this ad, it's also going to get rejected here, and it's also going to get rejected here, which means you have 3 ads that were rejected in the same day, and they're the same, and Facebook's going to review them separately, so they might actually, they could consider it 3 separate rejections, just restrict your account. It could even be the case where like all 9 get rejected, because if these 3 get rejected, then all 9 get rejected. So what you're going to do instead is you want to only have 1 ad in review at a time. So even if you want a campaign like this, you're going to start off and you're going to just publish this ad. And after it gets approved, you can go to the next ad and publish it, wait till it gets approved, go to the next ad, publish it, wait till it gets approved. And then now all these 3 ads are approved. So you could, if you're willing to, just duplicate this ad set, publish the next ad set with your different audience, because these ads are the same. They've already been approved. If you want to be extra cautious, you could go through and just still do the rest of them one by one, but that'll, 9 ads will probably take anywhere between 4 and 9 days. It's usually 12 to 24 hours approval times for a new ad account. So it can be faster, but that's kind of like worst case scenario. So, you know, it could take you a week to publish a campaign like this, but that's the safest way to do it. And I would recommend being this cautious for the first several conversion campaigns you run, like maybe the first few months of having your account. Just be very cautious. It's a pain in the ass. If you really want to work around, what you can do is you can make your campaigns ahead of time and schedule the start date. So that'll let, like, you can have ads go through review before the campaign goes live. And so what happens is you set a start date. You know, let's say your song doesn't come out for a week. You start making your campaign and you just publish all your ads ahead of time so that by the time the song comes out, you've already approved all your ads and they all go live at the same time. So that's kind of like the workaround. It's still a giant pain, but it doesn't affect your campaign as much because everything just goes live at the same time. It's not this weird staggered thing that might kind of skew stuff a little bit. But anyways, that's essentially the process that I've used, and I haven't had anyone do this and then run into trouble later, assuming they keep following this process. And I've even done this with people who they had an account get restricted, and so we had to open up a new business manager, new ad account, and then from there we decided to go forward with this super cautious method. Now, if you have an ad account where you've already spent $1,000 in random boosted posts and stuff and other different types of campaigns, you should be fine to run conversion campaigns, but I would still advise you to be cautious and still maybe just publish one ad at a time, especially when you're new and if you're not 100% sure about like if the ad meets policy, especially, be extra cautious to avoid any problems. It's a pain, but it's much less of a pain than getting restricted on Facebook ads. So anyways, if you found that video helpful and you want to learn how I promote my music with Facebook ads, I do have a playlist right here that you can check out to learn more about that. And I also have this video down here that YouTube thinks you should watch, apparently. But yeah, anyways, thank you very much for watching. Hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed. Hit a like, leave a comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.